Yeah, so I got this Samsung dishwasher, the DW80R9950US. It's supposed to be the super quiet version. Got it a few years ago, and it worked pretty well for a while. It's very quiet. It cleans pretty well and doesn't dry super well, but it dries pretty well for not having a heater, which is nice because it doesn't melt any of the plastic and stuff. But it had three kind of major problems, and the first was it stopped popping the door open automatically, which it needs to do when it's done to dry. And the second was it started popping the GFI breaker in my breaker panel, and it turned out that it was a leaky motor. I had to replace that. And then the third thing is that it started leaking out of the front, and so I had to finagle with that and tilt it and adjust some of the sprayers inside. So I'm going to go over all of those things here in this video and what I did to fix it. And it's kind of one of those things where I didn't have to spend a whole lot of money, but I had to spend a lot of time, and I ended up just wishing I had got a Miele or a Bosch or something more reliable. So the door on my Samsung dishwasher here wasn't opening at the end of the cycle here. I think it's like a couple months old, and it looks like this is how it's supposed to open. I was just kind of poking on it, pulling on it a little bit, and it opened, so I don't know if it's just kind of sticky, but these little things kind of pop out here. I guess that's why they say don't try and close it right after it pops open, because you'll damage the little things. So I don't know if this thing here is getting too sticky or what. So I've been watching these things for a minute, and they seem like they're very slowly going back in. Ran the dishwasher and popped open by itself. So I guess the lube worked. So the issue with the door not popping open seems to just be that this gets kind of stuck. This thing here doesn't really release it like it should, so I just have some of this lube that's for making beer or different types of food grade things. So I use that, but you can probably use whatever you want. But I just put a little dollop in there, and that seems like it keeps it working for quite a few months, maybe 6 months or something, and then I have to do it again. So that's the fix for the door not opening. Here we are watching the dishwasher. 31 minutes. I think it blew the GFI at 26, 24 last time. All right, so I'm trying to diagnose the dishwasher here. So this is the dishwasher breaker right here. It was a 15 amp purple one, which is arc fault and a GFI. And I swapped it out for just this arc fault one to see if it was the GFI that was tripping. That's the thing that's a little annoying about all these combos, is it's like, what is tripping? So one thing is, I've been putting a lot of vinegar in it, and I'm wondering if vinegar is bad for something. Could it be bad for the heating element or the pump or something? So I guess the vinegar wasn't what was killing it. All right, I finally sacked up and decided to try and take this thing apart. I know I should just buy a new Miele or something, but I like the look of this one, and I'm cheap. So what you do is you just take the bottom part out there. To pull this middle rack off here, there's these little clips that sit inside here, and they hold this pin in, and you just have to push down on this little tab on the top, and kind of they pop out this way. So like inside here, and they pop out, and then this whole thing can slide back. You can see. Where is it? Down here. There's a little clip. So when you slide it back, it'll pop out, and then these top ones, they have little clips that fit in here, and you just have to squeeze both sides and they come out, and then the whole thing slides out. That's these ones here. So you just have to squeeze both sides like this and pull it out. Now, around the back here, this had a little cover on it with 2 Phillips screws. So this is the motor right here that is no longer turning at all. So I need to pull that out. And on this side, I need to pull all this stuff up, so I'll do that. I think this just pops right out. There's a few screws in the back. So it looks to me like this one here just has these little tabs on the top and on the sides. And it's out. So it's just sitting in the bottom there. Well, I found the right size, but it doesn't say what size it is on the wrench, so just have to trial and error. Okay, so it looks like once you get this loose, then you move the whole thing towards you, and that's how you get it to unclip. So, got a clip like this. Good thing I didn't pull on it too hard. So, as this slides, it's just attached in there. Got an attachment inside this thing right here. So you see the left side is stationary, and then this right side is sliding up and down. And this, here's where it connects to the motor, right there. So all this stuff is intact, so it is the motor that's not turning. And then these are the little jumps here where the water sprays. This thing has been a problem for me. It just has these little clips that hold it on there, and it fell off at one point and was just kind of on the ground. But I think this is just for this left side boost, so I think it doesn't even work most of the time. And then the other thing is, this is a little magnet here, and there's some sort of sensor back there that I guess this magnet tells it when this thing's all the way back. So that's a problem that some people have, is it just doesn't know where back is, so it'll go back here and go meh. And mine was initially doing that before it stopped working at all. So what I did was I got a little strong rare earth kind of magnets, and I just put it on, here with this magnet to make sure that it wasn't that this magnet just got weak from being hot. So I just left that in there, and that didn't really make a difference. So, but that's something, if the magnet's the problem, once I get the motor fixed, then I'll check it. If it's still weird, I'll try this magnet again. Back around here, I'm using one of these little tiny Phillips screwdrivers to get this screw out right here. And actually, even a shorter one would probably be better. Got like this little one here, but this cable comes around and clips right here. So I'm going to remove that and this screw and then see if it comes apart. And over here I removed these 4 screws, and this lifts up some, but it's kind of attached on the back still, so not sure exactly what's going on. Okay, those screwdrivers didn't work super well, so I just got the 1/4-inch wrench with the adapter on it. And then I noticed there's this little lever here. It's like this, kind of. So I pulled on it, popped it down like that, and then I just kind of wiggled this whole thing, and it got loose. So I did take this one screw out of this thing here, the motor, but I think there's another one behind there I gotta find somewhere. So I just connected these two. You know, now this thing's loose. I think it's just because I didn't get these screws all the way out. Oh, there's a clip in the back. Okay. So it looks like it has to come up like this and then pull forward to get out. Look at that. Now the water is supposed to go through all those water crevices there, cavities, but not in the motor here, where it looks like it's pretty got past some of these seals. So to get the seal out, I just stuck some needle nose pliers in it and kind of pulled it out. So this is pretty interesting. It looks like the way this thing actually works is that it's all just hanging from the top. I thought that it was sandwiched, like from the bottom and the top, but it's just got this ring here that just seals in here, and then I guess it's just hanging from this, and then this has the pipe that goes up here and up here. Okay, I remember now. It was this handle that goes on that knob under there and clips in that holds it down that I took off at the beginning. So that's what you have to do in the beginning. You have to go in the back there, undo this lever, and unclip the wires, and then you can pull the whole thing out through the top. Yep, here it is. Motor's out. Looks like we have found the problem. All right, got some new parts here off of Amazon. So this is the seal for the shaft, and this is the new motor. I'll put some links in the description, but looks like the same thing. So hopefully it is. One commenter said, I have confirmed it has a steel shaft and not stainless like the OEM part, but I don't know. Does it look the same? I don't know. Maybe it's not quite the same. Is this one slightly shinier? Oh well. We'll see how long it lasts. But this was like 80 bucks. This one here was like 20 bucks. So I don't know. It does come with a little bit of grease inside of it, it looks like. So it doesn't really have to have anything. But I've got my sanitary petro gel here to really lube it up. All right, so I ran into a snag here. It looks like there are these two knobs on the bottom that have to go underneath, and now I can't finagle it in there because this top part sticks out here and this end hits the bottom. So All right, it's all back together. Let's give it a try. Okay, we're gonna try and catch it. You ready?
You gonna count?
1, 2, 3.
It's forward.
It's forward. All right, the Samsung is leaking again. No Samsung dishwashers. Very bad idea. So it looks like there's definitely a big streak in the middle here. What I'm kind of wondering right now, could it be coming from, but it's not coming from any of these hoses. It's the first thing I'll check, but if it was, then it should be inside here, which is dry. Kind of looks like it's coming from underneath this white pump thing here. It's pretty crazy, but I think I might have figured out what's happening, because everything's dry inside of here, except for where it's pooling in the very middle. It's kind of wet, but it's dry on the sides. And then this side looks dry. But when I come over here, this is super wet right here. And then if I look in here, it's kind of wet. Now I remember when I was putting this door back together, last time I was working on this, I felt like the seal was really sketchy in here. I thought that this seal was really sketchy right here. The one that goes like inside the two pieces of the door right here. But I thought that it wasn't gonna be a big problem because it was sort of raised up. So I thought, well, there's this little lip here and stuff that the water won't really go uphill, but so it does seem like this is like the pan right here. So there's supposed to be some sort of a seal inside there that kind of keeps the water from coming through. But then there's this funny little thing here where it has like this little lip. Gonna hold the light. Right here.
Yeah.
And then it almost looks like if it overflows there, then this little thing kind of catches it for some reason and just funnels it back under here. And then it just kind of drips down inside. I think it's just coming from right here.
Yeah.
Okay, I started running it again, and it is wet. So this is wet. You can see a little water coming down here. So now I kind of want to pull this thing off and see what's happening. Well, it seems to be a little bit of bubbling in the corner here. Seems like anywhere. Oh, there it is. There was something. Okay, so once it gets really close here. It seems like it's coming around the corner is what it's doing. This little gap here. So it seems like it's actually coming around the right side of the gasket there in the corner. It's like a little gap that gets hit sometimes. So this seems a little stupid, but I just have this feeling that the reason it's happening only on this side and not this side has something to do with the way these dishes stack. So I think when this water wall here and it's spraying up, I think at some point it hits like in here. Like, I always stack them the same way because of the way that these things are angled. And then I think maybe when it sprays up in the back here, the water flows around the back here and down and gets redirected at an angle into this corner. And that's how, because this doesn't actually seal with this, there's like a pretty big gap there, then I think a bunch of the water just sprays down in here and then it just kind of goes around in this gap here on the edge where you can see the seal has like a little, you know, 1/4 inch that it doesn't connect on the edge. Okay, so I did a few tests on rinse only to try and see what was going on. Had this little pan down here, and my MVP mod ended up being these little stainless steel nuts that I put under the feet and the corners here to raise this up a little bit. I did it on both corners just for kicks. It was really just this corner, but it seemed like this nozzle was kind of shooting this thing pretty low on this thing, and it would actually shoot underneath it once this got all the way up to the front here. When it got all the way up here, it would shoot underneath it, and that would go in the corner there and splash out. So I ran the test rinse with that. Another thing I tried is I put like a little rubber band ball under here. I just put something under here to prop this up a little. That worked too, but this seemed a little bit easier to just set those under there, and they probably won't fall out since that's stationary. So then I ran the full cycle, and I did end up with pretty much no drips. There was a couple of drips in here when I was done. I don't know if that was really coming out from underneath or if that just came out when the door popped open and it dripped around the side. And a couple of drips doesn't really bother me, but what I did was when I had the front off of here, I pulled these screws out and took this piece off here. Then I was able to modify this because it's all set up to funnel all the water that leaks out of the front into the back. So I broke the two little plastic things off, and then I also folded, there's like this rubber pad that I don't know if you can see here, but I folded this rubber pad up inside when I put it back together. There's this long rubber pad right here that normally folds down around here, and then you put the cover over that, and that makes all the water funnel down inside of here. So my goal now is anything that drips out, it'll just drip out in the front, and then I'll see it, and it'll probably just evaporate anyway. So that's the fix. Now it's possible that part of this got messed up when I removed this whole section and did the work replacing the motor that moves this thing, this little pulley under here. I was thinking maybe this here could be twisted like that to angle the nozzles up more, but I tried to kind of carefully do it by hand and it didn't seem like it would move. So that's the whole story. I doubt anybody made it this far, but thanks for watching.